Kash Patel, who's the head of the FBI. Look, I'm going to say I thought he was the wrong choice. I just think like it's a very serious job being the head of the FBI. There's a lot of, keeping our homeland safe. I felt like he didn't have the background and chops to be in that role. There is a new report that came out of all places in the New York Post, which is not a left-leaning publication at all, by Miranda Devine, talking about how 24 current and former FBI agents are painting a rough picture of Kash Patel's first 6 months, saying that he is suffering from low confidence, paralyzing leadership, and that he's in over his head. It's filled with crazy details about him refusing to get off a plane after the assassination of Charlie Kirk because he didn't have his own FBI raid jacket. He also has been shuttling his girlfriend on government jets and using tax-paying security detail for his girlfriend, not even his wife, his girlfriend. And he's been highly criticized for the amount of private jet trips he has taken. I want to show you a clip of him talking about how he criticized the former director of the FBI, Chris Wray. Number 8, please.
And I'm not saying take all their funding. I'm not the defund everything guy. I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just a thought.
Minimum.
He was obviously talking about his predecessor.
This was when he had his podcast. This is before.
Yes, when he had his podcast, the former head of the FBI. What do you make of all this? Because I actually think if there's going to be any losses in the administration, anyone's cut, he's going to be the first one to go.
Personally, I believe that his behavior is beneath the dignity of the office in which he holds as the director of the FBI. Whether you like him or not, his public posturing and behavior, some of his remarks during press conferences, seems that he is more trying to appeal to the audience of one as opposed to doing the job as prescribed. That said, although I may not personally approve of his behavior, it really doesn't matter until he becomes a political liability for Donald Trump, President Trump, which as of this moment, he has not. And this almost runs parallel to Secretary of Defense / Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. It may not matter how popular or unpopular one's behavior may be, as long as the president is happy and satisfied with him. And there are conflicting reports about whether the president is happy with both or either of them. But as long as publicly we're under the impression that the president is happy with either or both, they're not going anywhere. And let's not forget, if we go back to the first Trump administration, turnover in the cabinet was much more frequent in the first administration than the second administration. So if anything, I'm kind of surprised that there has not been the type of turnover that we saw in the first administration. Long story short, do I believe that Kash Patel will survive this? I'm inclined to believe that he will, even though he is not someone who I think best represents the FBI or the DOJ more generally.
It's just so weird in the era of Doge and all the criticisms of government spending and bloviating budgets that he's going to have his random girlfriend have a full security detail and access to government private jets. It seems like a wasteful spending. I don't know enough about the security risk, but it just seems pretty insane. Is any of this that we were talking on Monday about how Trump's approval ratings for the first time in this administration are now beneath or equidistant to where it was with President Biden? Do you think some of it is just crap like this, where it's you came in to sort of fix things and it seems like you're just a swamp creature, I guess?
Oh, all of it. But politics is more emotional than it is legislative. And if the emotion for someone, a voter, is about the kitchen table issues, about not being able to pay for the items that they need, like groceries, then yes, that's going to adversely impact the president. But if you are supporting the president because you like how he makes you feel regarding, let's say, illegal immigration, then there's nothing, the approval rating is not really going to matter. And we've seen, just using history as a guide, that the president doesn't really function or worry about approval ratings per se. As long as he has that 90% support of the Republican base, then he has the requisite support that he'll need to keep going forward. And as far as I can see, that support has not changed at all. And until that support changes, I don't think President Trump is going to change any of his directions or his people.